Section 55 of English Synonyms and Antonyms. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mario Pineda. English Synonyms and Antonyms by James Champlin Fernald. Repentance to Revelation. Repentance. Synonyms: compunction, contrition, contriteness, penitence, regret, remorse, self-condemnation, sorrow. Regret is sorrow for any painful or annoying matter. One is moved with penitence for wrongdoing. To speak of regret for a fault of our own marks it as slighter than one regarding which we should express penitence. Repentance is sorrow for sin with self-condemnation and complete turning from the sin. Penitence is transient and may involve no change of character or conduct. There may be sorrow without repentance, as for consequences only, but not repentance without sorrow. Compunction is a momentary sting of conscience, in view either of a past or of a contemplated act. Contrition is a subduing sorrow for sin, as against the divine holiness and love. Remorse is, as its derivation indicates, a biting or gnawing back of guilt upon the heart, with no turning of heart from the sin, and no suggestion of divine forgiveness. Antonyms: approval, comfort, complacency, content, hardness, impenitence, obduracy, obstinacy, self-approval, self-complacency, self-congratulation, stubbornness. Prepositions: repentance of or in heart, or from the heart, repentance for sins, before or toward God, unto life. Report. Synonyms: account, description, narration, narrative, recital, record, rehearsal, relation, rumor, statement, story, tale. Account carries the idea of a commercial summary. A statement is definite, confined to essentials and properly to matters within the personal knowledge of the one who states them, as an ante-mortem statement. A narrative is a somewhat extended and embellished account of events in order of time, ordinarily with a view to please or entertain. A description gives a special scope to the pictorial element. A report, Latin re, back, and porto, bring, as its etymology implies, is something brought back, as by one sent to obtain information, and may be concise and formal or highly descriptive and dramatic. Compare allegory, history, record. Reproof. Synonyms: admonition, animadversion, blame, censure, check, chiding, comment, condemnation, criticism, denunciation, disapproval, objurgation, rebuke, reflection, reprehension, reprimand, reproach, reproval, upbraiding. Blame, censure, and disapproval may either be felt or uttered. Comment, criticism, rebuke, reflection, reprehension, and reproof are always expressed. The same is true of admonition and animadversion. Comment and criticism may be favorable as well as censorious. They imply no superiority or authority on the part of him who utters them, nor do reflection or reprehension, which are simply turning the mind back upon what is disapproved. Reprehension is supposed to be calm and just, and with good intent. It is therefore a serious matter, however mild, and is capable of great force, as expressed in the phrase severe reprehension. Reflection is often from mere ill-feeling, and is likely to be more personal and less impartial than reprehension. We often speak of unkind or unjust reflections. Rebuke, literally a stopping of the mouth, is administered to a forward or hasty person. Reproof is administered to one intentionally or deliberately wrong. Both words imply authority in the reprover, and direct expression of disapproval to the face of the person rebuked or reproved. Reprimand is officially censure, formally administered by a superior to one under his command. Animadversion is censure of a high, authoritative, and somewhat formal kind. Rebuke may be given at the outset or in the midst of an action. Animadversion, reflection, reprehension, reproof always follow the act. Admonition is anticipation and meant to be preventive. Check is allied to rebuke and given before or during action. Chiding is neither to reproof, but with more of personal bitterness and less of authority. Compare condemn, reprove. Antonyms: applause, approbation, approval, commendation, encomium, eulogy, panegyric, praise. Reprove. Synonyms: admonish, blame, censure, chasten, check, chide, condemn, expostulate with, find fault with, rebuke, remonstrate with, reprehend, reprimand, reproach, take to task, upbraid, warn. To censure is to pronounce an adverse judgment that may or may not be expressed to the person censured. To reprove is to censure authoritatively, openly, and directly to the face of the person reproved. To rebuke is to reprove with sharpness and often with abruptness, usually in the midst of some action or course of action deemed censurable. To reprimand is to reprove officially. To blame is a familiar word signifying to pass censure upon, make answerable as for a fault. Blame and censure apply either to persons or acts. Reprove and rebuke are applied chiefly, and reprimand exclusively to persons. To reproach is to censure openly and vehemently, and with intense personal feelings, as of grief or anger. As to reproach one for ingratitude, reproach knows no distinction of rank or character. A subject may reproach a king or a criminal judge. To expostulate or remonstrate with is to mingle reasoning and appeal with censure in the hope of winning one from his evil way, expostulate being the gentler, remonstrate the severer word. Admonish is the mildest of reproving words, and may even be used of giving a caution or warning where no wrong is implied, or of simply reminding of duty which might be forgotten. Censure, rebuke, and reprove apply to wrong that has been done. Warn and admonish refer to anticipated error or fault. When one is admonished because of wrong already done, the view is still future, that he may not repeat or continue in the wrong. Compare, condemn, reprove. Antonyms: abet, applaud, approve, cheer, countenance, encourage, impel, incite, instigate, urge on. Requite. Synonyms: avenge, compensate, pay, pay off, punish, quit, reciprocate, recompense, remunerate, repay, retaliate, return, revenge, reward, satisfy, settle with. To repay or to retaliate, to punish or to reward, may be to make some return very inadequate to the benefit or injury received, or the right or wrong done. But to requite, according to its etymology, is to make so full and adequate a return as to quit oneself of all obligation of favor or of hostility. But to requite, according to its etymology, is to make so full and adequate a return as to quit oneself of all obligation of favor or hostility, of punishment or reward. Requite is often used in the more general sense of recompense or repay, but always is a suggestion, at least, of the original idea of full equivalent. When one speaks of requiting kindness with ingratitude, the expression gains force from the comparison of the actual with the proper and appropriate return. Compare pay. Antonyms: absolve, acquit, excuse, forget, forgive, neglect, overlook, pardon, pass over, slight. Preposition: to requite injury with injury is human, but not Christian. Rest. Synonyms: calm, calmness, cessation, ease, intermission, pause, peace, peacefulness, quiescence, quiet, quietness, quietude, recreation, repose, sleep, slumber, stay, stillness, stop, tranquility. Ease denotes freedom from cause of disturbance, whether external or internal. Quiet denotes freedom from agitation or especially from annoying sounds. Rest is a cessation of activity, especially of wearing or painful activity. Recreation is some pleasing activity of certain organs or faculties that affords rest to other parts of our nature that have become weary. Repose is a laying down primarily of the body, and figuratively a similar freedom from toil or strain of mind. Repose is more complete than rest. A pause is a momentary cessation of activity. A blacksmith finds a temporary rest while the iron is heating, but he does not yield to repose. In a pause of battle, a soldier rests on his arms. After the battle, the victor reposes on his laurels. Sleep is the perfection of repose, the most complete rest. Slumber is a light and ordinarily pleasant form of sleep. In the figurative sense, rest of mind, soul, conscience is not mere cessation of activity, but a pleasing, tranquil relief from all painful and wearing activity. Repose is even more deep, tranquil, and complete. Antonyms: agitation, commotion, disquiet, disturbance, excitement, motion, movement, restlessness, rush, stir, strain, toil, tumult, unrest, work. Restive. Synonyms: bulky, fidgety, fractious, fretful, frisky, impatient, intractable, mulish,